Welcome everybody to Our Green Acres, and if you are new to my channel, my name is Teresa. Today's video, I'm going to have a lot of projects for you. I'm going to do some thrift flips. I'm finding a lot of great decor at Goodwill these days. I'm going to show you how I can upcycle them, and we can incorporate those in our home for Easter and spring and even through summer. I'm also going to show y'all a new technique of how we can transfer designs onto our projects, and also stay to the end because I'm going to give y'all a dollhouse update. I hope y'all enjoy the video. Okay y'all, let's get started. The first project is going to be a scrap wood sign. Now I'm using a piece of scrap wood that we had on hand, and it's approximately 24 inches long. I'm going to apply some candle wax to it, and then I'm going to chalk paint it with white linen chalk paint. I'm going to go over it with my plastic scraper, and then I will go over it for a final sanding with a sanding block just to smooth it out and give it more wear and tear on the edges. Now I have purchased a couple of new stencils for Easter and springtime, and this is one of them, and I will have these linked in my Amazon store. Now I'm going to go over it with some black ink chalk paint, and I'm just putting part of the stencil on this because that is all that will fit on my piece of wood. But this is going to make a really rustic farmhouse type sign that I can display now for spring and Easter. I'm just going to throw together some scrap fabric and ribbons that I have, make a messy bow, and I'm going to put that on it, and that's all it is to it. Now later on in the video I'm going to do another project, and I'll show you more in detail how to make a messy bow if you don't know how.
Teardrops start to dry, even when the sun begins to shine.
Okay, the next project we're going to make another really rustic. I'm going to make a tray. I was going to make a sign, and then I got some really pretty hardware at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby a lot of times will run their hardware half off, and that's when you want to go and take advantage. Now I just wood glued even some scrap pieces of pallet wood on the back just to make it look more rustic looking. You could also use popsicle sticks. Now if you don't have scrap wood like this on hand, you could also use some Dollar Tree, those long signs that they put out for just about every season, and just put 3 of those together. Now this is pallet wood that I'm using. Another one of my stencils that I have in my Amazon store. I went over this one with some white linen chalk paint, and I think this one turned out so pretty. Now I'm just going to attach the handles that I got at Hobby Lobby, and now we've got a really cute little rustic tray that, or you could display this on a shelf and kind of prop it up as a sign, but I think as a tray it'd be really pretty, and we can display this now for spring and and for Easter.
Experience has made me realize that I won't build my life on empty words. Being so damn naive, it only hurts. I'm so tired of love songs, life never turns out the way they do. I've been trying for so long, looking for someone who wants me to. I've heard every cliche there is, and none of them makes sense. I'm so tired of love songs.
Okay, the next project I'm going to show you how to make a really inexpensive, really pretty spring wall decor piece. Now you just need a frame. This one's a thrifted frame. I got this actually at a yard sale, and I always pick them up at yard sales and thrift stores because there's so many things you can do with frames. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I got this beautiful placemat at Dollar General, and I only paid $1 for it. But you can find a lot of placemats with some really pretty graphics on them. A lot of times Dollar Tree has them. So just pick those up, and you can always put them in a frame, and they make great wall decor. So I just took some Dollar Tree foam board. I cut it down for the inside of my frame, and now I'm just going to cut down my placemat to get it down to size for the frame. Now once I get it cut down, then I'm just going to apply it with some school glue. You can also use some spray adhesive, and then you just want to apply it onto the foam board, and then we'll just put it back in the frame, and it's as easy as that. And I thought this graphic right here was so pretty for spring and also summer.
I'm so tired of you. Looking back on how I used to be, always thought that love was made for me. Oh well, I was just as blue-eyed as the sky could ever be. Loving you has made me realize I'm so tired of.
The next project, I'm going to show you how we can make a really trendy Target item right now. We can make it ourselves. I don't know if y'all have seen these on Instagram and other YouTube channels, but these right here are just the rage. They're $30. You can even see they're out of stock. So I thought, you know, why not? I think we can make these because it's just a really pretty, really big beaded and square block garland. So I got these wooden blocks. I got them at Hobby Lobby. They're $4.99, but if you go on a day, you can get this item for half off. It'll just be $2.50, and you're only going to need 4, and you got 8 in a pack. Now you're going to need some large wood beads. I'll have these linked to my Amazon store, and you'll need 15. Now we just want to get the center of the block so we can drill a hole in the center, and we just used a ruler to do that. And then all we're doing now is we're just going to drill a hole in each one of the blocks. And, you know, once we have that done, then we're just going to go out and we're going to spray paint everything. The blocks you could probably paint with a brush, but, you know, beads, you're just about pretty much going to have to go out and spray paint them. So Ben decided he wanted to take on this project, and this is what he come up with. He put it on some wire and put a couple of coats of spray paint on them, and they're good to go. Now, we use gloss on these, but you could also, you know, use a matte finish. I'm just trying to go with the ones that, you know, look more like the ones at Target. Theirs were ceramic. These, of course, are wood. But you just go, you want 3 beads in a section, and then you want to do a block, and 3 beads in a block. And like I say, you'll end up using 15 beads and 4 blocks. Now to make the tassels, I just wrapped some twine around a piece of cardboard, and I wrapped it about 10 times, so you'll have about 20 little fringe pieces once you get it done, because it'll double. Now once you get it done, I just go around and I trim the ends, and my tassel is probably about 4 inches long. I tried to do it the way I could tell in the picture of how long theirs was, but you can make any kind of tassel you wanted to on here. I'm just kind of showing you just to replicate the one that you get at Target. Now you just want to go now and just tie a knot in the twine so it will not go through that hole of the bead. And I tied about 4 knots to make it big so it wouldn't go through the hole. And then I just leave a loop, and then you just want to tie your tassel on. And my loop is probably about 2 inches. And like I say, I'm just trying to make it as close to the garland that Target has. And this is how easy it was to make this. So, you know, just a few dollars to make this one versus $30. And like I say, that item is now out of stock. Once you get your tassels tied on really good and secure, then you just want to take your scissors and you just want to cut those little tails off as close to the knot as you can. And there you go. We've got a Target dupe, and I think these turned out so pretty. A little bit different than just our normal beaded garland. So I think they turned out really, really cute. And, you know, I think I'll use these a lot styling for the spring and the summer.
Teardrops start to dry, and even when the sun begins to shine again, I've taken all the advice there is, and none of it has.
Now I'm going to show you a really easy thrift flip. You know I love trays, and I found this metal black tray at Goodwill the other day, and I paid $1.99 for it. But as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it, because all this is going to take is some spray paint, and this is going to be a great piece of style for spring and summer. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint it white. I put a couple of coats on it, and now it's all freshened up. Now I'm just going to show you some ways of how you can style a tray like this. And like I say, these pieces right here are very versatile.
I'm so tired of love songs, sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired
Another item that I picked up this week while I was at Goodwill was this beautiful picture. Now this has got like a pewter band on it, and I looked it up because I told y'all I love to look up things that I find at the Goodwill. This right here is right now online for sale for $26. I only paid $2.99 for mine. Y'all, I just wrapped a little shabby chic little ribbon on the handle just to kind of spring it up, and I put some really pretty little pink tulips in it. And the tulips are all linked to my Amazon store also. A lot of the florals that you see in my videos, I have them in my Amazon store because to me, Amazon has a huge selection of florals, and they are a lot of times are very good quality.
I've heard every cliche there is, and none of them make sense. I'm so tired of love songs, sick and tired of love songs.
Okay, y'all, this is a fun project because I'd never tried this before, but this is a cling wrap hack. This basically is how you can transfer a graphic onto something without using Mod Podge. But I got this idea from Wilshire Collections. She has a vlog. I'm going to leave a link to her video down below. Make sure to go out and watch it because she's going to give you some whole different tips on how to do this process. Basically, I'm taking a little wood house. I'm going to use a piece of scrapbook paper. I traced around it just to get my shape. Then you want to lay down a piece of cling wrap. Then apply your scrapbook paper, and then you want to add some parchment paper, and then you want to put your iron or your heat press down on it. Now you want to leave it, I left it on there about 30 seconds. If you leave it a little bit longer, it would probably work even better. And then you just go around and then you sand down your edges. Now this right here is supposed to adhere your scrapbook paper down to your wood, like I say, versus not having to use Mod Podge because that saran wrap, it melts and it bonds. So it worked on this one, and now I'm going to try my little larger house. Now these are kind of like a smooth wood, and in her video, she also used 3 smooth wood pieces. And again, you just apply your saran wrap, your scrapbook paper, and then you'll want to put parchment paper on top, and then apply your heat press. And that's all you do. And then you just go around and you just, like I say, sand off any excess that you have on the edges. Now the scrapbook paper worked really well. In her video, she'll do a napkin, and I think she uses scrapbook paper, and then also she prints out a graphic on some kind of cardstock. Now I'm just going to apply the little trim back to my house, and then I'm going to embellish them, and then I'll just show you how I style them. Now these 2 projects right here, I felt like were a success with this process, but the next few projects that I worked on, they weren't so successful. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you the failures of this. So this little birdhouse, I decided to go just a little step further and give it a little bit more embellishment. So I put some of my brocante transfer. This is in the brocante transfer book. I just kind of cut off some of my birds and added some birds. Now I'm going to add a messy bow. To add a messy bow, you just want to take scrap fabric and ribbons, and you just want to put them in a crisscross pattern, and you want to make it fluffy. You know, and some of my ribbon is wired and some of it's not, but that's the thing. You want different textures, and you want to put enough ribbon in there to where your messy bow is fluffy, and you want it to be messy. And I just tied it really tight in the center with a piece of twine, and then you just want to go around now and kind of trim it down to the size that you need it, and also just trim it so it'll be consistent on both sides. And then once you get it, you know, trimmed up, just fluff it out with your hands, you know, and then it's ready to go. Now here's the fail. I decided to try this on some scrap wood versus really smooth wood. Now I'm taking some graphics that I already have printed out. I printed some of these last year around springtime, and I'd saved them, but they did not adhere very well. I don't know if it was the texture of my wood, or maybe it was because this was just like, you know, plain typing, like plain printer paper. And it wasn't as thick as scrapbook paper, but I just wanted to show you the difference if you use rougher wood. It did adhere in some areas, but in some I had some bubbling and it didn't adhere very well. And I'll show you at the end very up close the flaws that it had. So here I'm just taking another little small piece of wood. I'm trying it again, and again I'm just taking a graphic that I had printed out already from last year's projects. And I think I got this little bunny off from an Etsy shop. So yeah, I just went around this one. I kind of roughed it up with my sanding block, and then I decided not to use parchment paper, just to go back over it with my heat press, just to try to see if it would adhere even better if I went back over it. And it didn't. It did some, but not as much as it needed to. So I'm taking another piece of scrap wood, and this one is a little bit different texture. I'd painted it, so I thought, well, maybe that will help. This one, I don't know. This one, I think, turned out worse than any of them. I mean, it melts the saran wrap, but you've got bubbling going on. So, anyway, I wanted to keep this in there just to show y'all all the ways that I tried it and let you see what the end product looked like. Now, up close, I'm showing you. You can really see the flaws in this. You can see where I've got bubbles, and that saran wrap is, it just didn't melt down in there the way it should. It still doesn't look bad. Like, I'm going to style it for you. And a lot of times, sometimes we notice things, but you may not notice, somebody else may not notice. But you can see that one right there didn't adhere well in the end. But everywhere else it did. So, I could always take a little, Mod Podge and put up under there and get it to lay down better. Now, this is the little rabbit. You can see he's got a big bubble there up under my thumb. But I'm going to embellish them, and once I get them embellished, I don't think you'll be able to tell. But I did want to show you the difference in the different textures of wood and the surfaces that I use for this technique. And I hope you'll try it and let me know how yours turns out, or if you've ever used this process. Maybe I did something wrong, or maybe you have some tips for me. So make sure to leave me a comment if you do.
Even when my teardrops start to dry, and even when the sun begins to shine again, I've taken all the advice there is, and none of it has helped. I'm so tired of love songs, sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired of you. Ooh, sick and tired of you. I'm so tired of love songs that never turns out the way they do. I've been trying for so long, looking for someone to help me through. I've heard every cliche there is, and none of them make sense. I'm so tired of love songs, sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired of you.
Now, the next project I'm going to show you is going to be a yard sale find. This is 4 Gorbles that I picked up for, I think I paid $2 for all of them. Now, these have already been chalk painted gray, and I'm only going to use one in today's video. I am thinking about some other purposes for these. One of them already had some good distressing on it, so all I did was I painted it white. I left that little distressing that was already on it, and I'm just showing you how I'm going to style these in my home. But just another good piece if you see these out. Gorbles are always great architectural pieces, just to add to, bookends. Just add these to your vignettes, and they just add so much to your displays. Okay, I've got another thrift flip. We're going to upcycle a couple of glass containers that I got at Goodwill. Right now, I am scoring some really fun and unique decor pieces at Goodwill. And the other day, I try to go once a week and just kind of browse through and see what they have. And these were $1.99 each. So I thought these would be great for spring and summer to display our florals. So I'm going to show you a traditional Potts transfer book has a sheet of white decals. These transfers right here are so pretty. In my last video, I showed you how pretty these work on terracotta pots. Well, I thought these would make such pretty graphics for these glass containers, because it's going to make it look like the glass is like etched glass. So I took a couple of the transfers, and I'm just going to apply them to the front of my glass containers and just show you how pretty of a detail this makes on these $1.99 pieces. And like I say, these now are great pieces that we can just display really pretty florals for spring and summer.
To feel lonely, I am finally home at last. And I don't mind being gone on adventures for a while. No, no. 'Cause the best thing about it is
Okay, let's talk dollhouse. Remember last week in my video, I showed y'all a $2 dollhouse that I got at a yard sale. And I'm going to remodel it, and I'm thinking about going shabby chic, little farmhouse theme on this. This is what it looks like. And I also have this little house linked in my Amazon store. And I also made a dollhouse category in my store on Amazon that is got a lot of furniture and dollhouse related items and accessories. And some of the things I'm buying for my dollhouse, I'm getting from Amazon or Hobby Lobby. I'm just kind of shopping and pricing. Now, if you don't have a dollhouse and you don't want to invest a lot of money in it, here's some ideas of things that you can do to create your own. You can get a 4-cube storage unit, very inexpensive at Walmart or Target. You can make what they call a little one-room DIY. You can make it out of Dollar Tree foam board. This is a little corner unit that's sold on Amazon, and it's linked in my store. Very affordable, but here is just a little open room concept that you can do one room, and you can choose whatever room you want. If you want to do a bedroom scene, I've seen people make little country farmhouse stores and make it look like a little store and stock it with all kinds of cute things. You could even do like a boutique. This to me is such a fun hobby, but this is what I've done to mine this week. I went on and I painted everything white. I did some research, and they said, if you're kind of going with a remodel style house, a house, that you've resourced from somewhere and you don't really like the colors, just paint it all white, start all over. This gives you really a blank canvas to really lay down your foundation of what you want, because basically we're going to paint the walls inside, or we're going to add wallpaper, we're going to add carpet or a little hardwood. So a lot of this you're not even going to see it, but I did what they recommended, and I painted it all white. And now I used some Valspar paint that we got at Lowe's. So now I'm thinking about wallpaper options. Now there's a lot of options when it comes to wallpaper, and like I say, you can even paint. This is just some pieces of scrapbook paper you can pick up at Hobby Lobby. You can get these on half price week, and sometimes they'll be like a quarter to 30 cents a sheet. Now I told you I'm going with more of a little shabby chic farmhouse theme in mind, so I picked out some prints that I thought would go well, and I'm kind of coordinating them. I'm doing the ceiling in a different design versus my walls. Now the little side walls, I haven't decided if I want to put wallpaper on those yet, so I'm just going to leave those white. But I'm just using school glue. I think I got some at Dollar Tree or Walmart. Very inexpensive. I just applied this scrapbook paper to my walls using it. And a lot of times in the research I've done and the tutorials that I watch, you can apply it with Mod Podge. You can even put it on a piece of poster board and just stick it in there if you want it just to, maybe be temporary. Maybe you want to change it out later. But I feel like if I want to change this out sometime, this would probably come off really easy with using the school glue. So, and this is just how easy it was. I just kind of cut my pieces to fit my little walls. I applied my glue, and then I just kind of scraped them on really good, just to get any kind of air bubbles or anything out, and smooth it out really good with my IOD little plastic scraper. Now, y'all, I can't tell you how much fun this has already been. And I haven't done a lot to mine yet because I only work on it in my free time. But like I say, I highly encourage you, if you're looking for a very relaxing hobby to work on, consider creating a little dollhouse or do one of the little DIY rooms. I think you'll really enjoy it. And just real quick, before I end the video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of a few little items that I've already ordered from Amazon to go in mine, and I think the quality of these are really great. I've got some more furniture, but, time-wise for this video, I'm just kind of giving y'all just little just the little highlights of a few things that I've gotten so I can work on and to help remodel my dollhouse. But it is endless of things that you can use for flooring and little rugs and carpet. I've got a set of stairs because my house didn't come with any stairs, and I have a place for two. But for space limitations, I'm not sure if I'm going to put 2 stairwells up because it just takes up space, and I really need it to put my little accessories in. Y'all, they have little fire pits. They have little farmhouse signs. They've got Bibles. So, of course, the first thing I need to put in my little dollhouse is a Bible. But I'm just showing you some cute little accessories that they have. So much fun, too. Just bring your whole family in on this. Use your creativity and just think up things that you can make from things that you have around your house. So, as always, y'all, I appreciate y'all for coming over today. I hope you enjoyed the content of the video, and I hope you enjoy seeing me share my little dollhouse journey. Keep the comments coming. So many of y'all have commented that you've worked on dollhouses, and I love reading about the little dollhouse community, and because it is a huge little dollhouse world out there once you get to talking about it. So I hope all of y'all have a great week. Thanks again for coming over. I love y'all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.